and get going. So, good morning and welcome to our members chat this week, which is going to be about money blocks, which is something that I'm super excited about, because if you've been seeing my posts over the last couple of days, you will have seen that this week I have qualified as an energy practitioner, which means I am now able to work on a one-to-one basis. Just seeing something else coming there now. I'm just going to mute you. I can now work with people on a one-to-one basis, and I will be working with groups in the next couple of months as well. I've just got to do my first 30 hours one-to-one, and then I will be able to move on to do more group work, which I'm really, really excited about as well. And I'll be talking more about that in a minute, included in all of this. But I know from my own personal experiences and from knowing lots and lots of biz mums that money is a massive, massive issue for lots and lots of us. I've had my own personal struggles that I'm working through, and it can be so frustrating and so hard when you think, I am doing everything that I possibly can. I am working hard. I'm trying my best. I'm helping people. I'm giving. For me personally, I've done every business under the sun. I've tried this, I've tried that, I've done this, I've put this out, and just something wasn't clicking. And it wasn't for the want of trying, that's for sure. So I knew that there was something that just wasn't quite working out right. And then a couple of years ago, I learned about money blocks and how you can have these things that actually, no matter what you try and do, if you don't have these cleared, and if this isn't all working right for you, then nothing will work. So it's fascinating, and it is life-changing once you can figure what this is out for you and set to work to making it right. Michelle Lowbridge, who actually trained me, I'm going to be doing a call with her in a couple of weeks as well. She can tell her story fully. But basically, she identified what her money blocks were using the same techniques that she's now taught me, and has just transformed her life, gone from sort of selling the services for £50 an hour to launching programs and things like that for, she works a lot in America, so with American people. So the first launch she did, she went from $50 an hour to $47,000 in, I think it was either 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Crazy, just by finding out what this was that wasn't quite working for her and fixing it. So let's just see if we've got someone who's got their audio on. Oh, there we go. Super. Okay, if you're coming on the call, if you could just mute yourself, that would be fab. And then I'm going to be going around everybody as well, and we'll ask some questions. And what you can do is you can put your comments and stuff in the chat box as well, and then we can come up at the end as well and open up for a bit more of a chat. Okay, so money blocks. So let me just stick it onto gallery view so I can still see you all. Okay, brilliant. So if you've got your video on, or if you want to pop in the chat, so do you have all the money you want in your life right now? So anybody who is sitting there yeah, no, I've got plenty of money, I'm fine, put your hands up. Okay, not surprising. So is anyone sitting here thinking, I'd like a bit more, please? Yes, thank you. 2 hands, yay. Okay, cool. And if you haven't, why is that? Is it because you haven't been trying? I don't think so. Looking at some of you, I know you've all got businesses and you're all working really, really hard. Is it for not wanting and sitting back and thinking, no, actually, I don't want enough? No, we all do want more. We would all like a little bit more to do the nice things that we want to do, not to have to worry. I think that's a big part of it as well for a lot of people. Is it's just not having that month to month worrying about bills coming in, and it's stressful and it's hard, and it causes friction in relationships, and it causes friction between families, and it just sucks. And I really had a horrible relationship with money where I'm like, I hate money. If I could do what I do for free with Biz Mums and my coaching, I would, because I love it that much. But at the end of the day, the world doesn't revolve like that. And, we've got to, if we want to do nice things for our family and we want to have nice things in our lives, then money plays a massive, massive part in that. So, but are there other people who are doing a similar thing to you? Are there other people in your business or other people in your town who are earning money, who are doing well, who are earning money? Is that right? Let me put that on again so I can see you all again. So are there other people doing something similar to you that are making lots of money? Or are there other people that you know local to you, yeah, that are doing really, really well? So it's not that it's impossible. It's totally possible for it to happen. So why is it not happening for you? So knowing that you're here on this call today, and knowing my own experiences as well, I know how frustrating it can be to just keep working really, really hard and keep hitting against resistance. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, something isn't working and you just don't know what that is. Chances are you've got some money blocks going on. And money blocks can appear in two different ways, mainly, I'd say. So the first one is in your thoughts and beliefs. So your thoughts and beliefs are so powerful. These are your ingrained inner guidance system. They come from way back when. So when you're born, you kind of don't really, you're a bit of a blank canvas. You may have some little personality types of things, but I think the biggest fears when you're first born, I think there's a fear of falling and a fear of loud noises. I think that's pretty much it. But then as you grow, and I don't know if anyone's got kids and have seen that film Inside Out, the new Disney one, and this shows this amazingly. So at the start of the film, the baby's born, and in it she's got Joy, which is the one, and then Joy's there and she's the baby and she's all giggly and happy and it's all great. And then as her life grows up, all these other elements start to come in. So I think the first one that came in was fear. I'm pretty sure the first one that came in was fear, but there's anger and there's all these different ones. And as you grow, these become stronger, and these come from your experiences as you grow. So in this film, it demonstrates it so simply and so well. So the first thing comes up, she's about to fall over, and then fear kind of puts in, and fear comes to protect you. And we need fear. Fear is great because fear stops us from hurting ourselves, or else we'd all be skydiving and jumping out in front of cars and things like that. So when you get to a baby gets to a certain age where they're starting to move and stuff, fear is really important, because you need to have this fear to stop you from getting into trouble. But that's if the fear is correct, if that's the fear is right. But what happens as we grow and we have all these other experiences, and then what also happens is it's not just our own personal experiences, but we have personal experiences of other people. So our parents tell us stuff, our teachers tell us stuff, the media tell us stuff, things happen and go wrong and someone else will tell us stuff, especially when you get to adolescence and teenage years. People start to say things to you that aren't true, but you believe them to be true. And all these fears and all these limiting beliefs start to kick in. And these are where your money blocks can come. So they can come from a very, very, very young age. And when they're that deep rooted, you believe them to be true. And we all have beliefs that we believe to be true. We all believe certain things in certain ways, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are true, but to us they are. And this is where, the whole world gets into battles over religion and things like this, because of people believe what they believe. And that's it. To you, that's right. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it is. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for other people, but you yourself believe it. And so these negative thought patterns, these limiting beliefs, as you go through your life, your subconscious mind is so, so powerful that it drives you by these limiting beliefs. I think, I don't know the exact stat, and I'm pretty sure no one really does know the exact stat, but it's about your conscious mind is about 10%. So 90% of what's going on is subconscious. You don't even realize. So all the information that you're taking in sat there right now, consciously you're aware of about 10%, say, and then 90% of the stuff you don't even know is happening. But it is, and this is where your conscious thoughts and your subconscious thoughts, subconscious beliefs, subconscious limiting beliefs all kick in. So that's one way. Another way is with something called Upper Limits. There's a really good book that I'd recommend you all to read. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And in this book, he describes the situations where, so if you've ever noticed when some people win the lottery, within a couple of years, it's all gone, it's all wasted. Like yourself, you might get a bit of extra money come in, your partner might get a bonus from work, or you might get an unexpected check come from a savings account that you forgot about, or something like that. This money comes into you, and then the washing machine breaks down, your car gets a flat tire, or whatever it is. That money that you got, it goes, and you're like, oh, great, okay, that was great. But that's your upper limits, and we have upper limits on lots of on levels, not just money, but we have them on success. We can have them in relationships, happiness, and we have a limit of what we are happy with, what we're comfortable with. So with money, you'll have a limit of what you're comfortable earning. The second that you go over that limit, your body kind of goes into a bit of a meltdown, and it's like, oh no, this is too much, I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not comfortable with this, right, how can we get rid of it, how can we get rid of it? So it might be like some people, it's hard for them to adjust when they do start to make a lot more money. They just end up going and spending it all because they can't cope with having this much money. Or with happiness, good example of this for me, every time I go on holiday, I end up getting a really dicky tummy, and it's too much now of a coincidence that it's just the food or just the water or whatever, because it's happened even in this country. And it's as though I hit a level of happiness, and then the guilt kicks in of, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you can't afford to do this, all these limiting beliefs, all these fears come in and make me sick. Last week, my upper limit just went crazy. So I was going to do this course in Manchester, and the circumstances how it all came about were just quite bizarre, really, looking back on it. I'd wanted to do it, but when I spoke to the lady that was running it in December, there was just no way, logistically, financially, it just wasn't happening. And then 3 weeks ago, she messaged me and said, look, this has happened, and I can make it possible for you. If you can do this, we can sort it out and you can be there. And I was just like, oh, okay, I've got to do it. Everything was telling me that I needed to go and do this. Everything was, rather than it being that resistance, everything was the opposite. I was getting shoved there, whether I wanted to go or not. But my upper limit last week just completely freaked out. So last Friday, I woke up, I didn't feel 100%. By the Friday afternoon, I was in bed at 5 o'clock, and I felt rotten. Couldn't quite pick up what it was, but I thought, oh, I'll be all right, I'll have a bit of sleep and I'll be fine by the Saturday. Saturday morning, I couldn't even get out of bed. Quickly realised that I had a water infection. But not only that, I've still got a bit, the moment you can probably tell my voice is a bit husky. My throat was just like I couldn't speak, or my nose was all blocked up. It was just, I just felt awful. By the Saturday evening, I had an eye infection. I had bright red eyes like a rabbit at a Watership Down. Everything was just, and it was because my body was trying to protect me from going, because it knew I was going on this course, which was a massive stretch for me financially. I was going to go and being amongst these women who were traveling. One had come from Brazil, one had come from Malaysia, one had come from Canada, 3 were coming from America, and little old me going into that situation was petrified. So my body's response for that was, we don't want to put you in that fear situation. So what we're going to do, you get sick, that's fine, you can't go. And it's my body's response to try and protect me. But I was like, no, I'm still going, whatever. So literally, Tim had to drive me there on Sunday afternoon, I dragged myself there. I was not going. And do you know what, though? This is the most bizarre thing. My perception of what that was going to be like, and going into there to meet those women and thinking they're just going to have these amazing businesses, they're going to be doing this, that and the other. There was only me and one other girl who actually had a business established already that could go in and do this work immediately. I was the one that had the most clients lined up. The others were still working. They hadn't figured out what they were doing. And rather than me being completely out of my depth, I was the one who was offering them the advice and telling them stuff and sharing stuff with them. And I was just blown away by that. And so it just goes to show you, my limiting beliefs of me not being good enough, of me not, of everything that I thought that they were going to be and that I was, were completely wrong. And that was only my own beliefs about myself, my limiting beliefs and my thoughts, and it was all a load of tosh. So there we go. So when you feel like that, push through those upper limits, and the only way you can break through them is to just push through and show yourself that actually you can do it. So where do money blocks come from? So and oh yeah, with another upper limit as well I was going to say about is relationships. So whenever you get happy in relationships, you start to trigger off arguments as well. That's where your upper limits can come in as well. They're a sucker. Okay, so where do money blocks come from? So money blocks can come from, they can even, if you believe in that type of thing, but they can come from your past life, inherited beliefs, childhood experiences, adolescence and your first experiences with money. So if you first got a job and you weren't very good with money, if you first, when you were first able to get credit and you went out and spent loads of money on credit cards and things like that, those can all be, those can all cause you money blocks. Experiences that you've had with money. So if you've had money in the past, but then you've lost it or things like that, these can all cause you limiting beliefs and fears. Your parents are massive causes of money blocks. So, or grandparents, what was money like with them? Other people as well. So, yeah, we said my mum. Yeah, parents are a biggie. So other people as well. So it could be previous relationships you've had, people, in ex-husbands or partners or whatever. It could be seeing other people who've had money and lost it, aunties, uncles, or just friends or whatever. And also the media, and just the general world, just the general, at the moment it's all like negative recession and all this kind of stuff, and all this can put money blocks on you, thinking, oh well, I'm never going to do well in my business at the moment because there's a credit crunch on, and all this type of stuff. All that type of stuff can really affect you, and it's all a load of rubbish. So there may be things that your family said about money when you were a child. So very common ones are money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are greedy, money is the root of all evil, or behaviours that you saw in your family. So maybe if your dad worked really hard, was never at home, was quite snappy around you, that can lead to a belief that if, it meant, him working meant that we could have the things that we wanted and things like that. That can lead to you believing that it must be hard to earn money. If I have money, it means I'm going to be a nasty person. All these types of things, which are, again, are a load of rubbish. Money can cause arguments. I mean, personally, in my story comes from my childhood, and my parents fought a lot about money. And so it's, money causes arguments. So you can think about that. Well, if we've got money, it's going to cause friction in relationships, and that can mean that you're kind of batting it off because of that. You can, as you grow up as well, you could perhaps have seen things on TV that you might have think, that you can copy and things like that. You can pick things up from all over the place. So there is, other things, there is not enough money to buy everything that you want, or it takes hard work to earn money, and all these sort of things that are, again, a bit rubbish. So these beliefs and patterns about money are all stored in our subconscious mind, and all they're trying to do is protect you from harm, and that by you believing that money is the root of all evil. I don't want to be an evil person, so if I have money, I'm going to be an evil person. But obviously you're not. You're going to do good with that money. So, but thinking that, okay, my parents had money and they argued, or for me, a big one was, my money story comes back from when I was sort of about 12. We moved villages, and we lived in one village, and I went to primary school there, and then we moved to another village. And my dad built our house, but we lived in a big 5-bedroom detached house. My dad built it from the foundations up. He's a builder. But the perception of the other children in the village was I was this snobby rich kid that lived at the top of the hill, and we didn't even have that much like disposable income. We just lived in this nice big house, and that was the challenge that came against it, was that we didn't have money. But mum and dad fought about that, but all the kids in the village thought I was this snobby rich kid, which I wasn't. So when I went to secondary school, I had to then start catching the bus, and I hadn't gone to the primary school, so none of the kids knew me, and I was bullied terribly for the whole my secondary school life. And it all came to, and so now my belief is, if I think that I've got money, people are going to bully me and pick on me and all the rest of it, and it's just a horrible thing to have had to have carried around for the last 20 years. But I'm working on that now, so that's going, yay. So how can you understand your own money blocks? So there's ways that you can do it. So it's listening to your own inner dialogue. So how do you speak about money? What is there things that you say? Is there things that you say to your kids? So for me, I'm so conscious trying to catch myself now what I say to Harrison. But it's hard, you know, when you're in the supermarket and he's like, can I have this? Can I have that? I'm like, Harrison, no, come on. How much money do you think we've got? You know, money doesn't go on treat, you know, and all the rest of it. But you'll catch your own thoughts around money, saying things like that. It will come out. Have a good chat with yourself. It sounds a bit silly, but you know, it's a nice sunny day today. Just go and sit out in the garden, and you don't have to do it out loud, but if you want to, you can, and just go and go, okay, so what do I think about money? What scares me about money? Take some time, do a bit of quiet, just shut your mind off and just set the intention. That's going to be the question that you're going to ask yourself. What do I think about money? How do I feel about money? And just don't think about anything else, and just see what pops into your mind, because things will come up. What are the experiences that you're holding on to about money, things that have gone on in the past? And that will help to bring it up. Is it that you feel like that you can't manage money? And that can be a big one. If you feel like you're unorganized and you're not very good with money, then trying to earn more money, you'll be self-sabotaging with that one, because you don't want to, if I have more money, I can't manage that. I can't manage more money. I'm not responsible enough to have more money. So that's a really big self-sabotage. If I have too much money, I'll have too much responsibility. That can be another good self-sabotaging one. So, the more money I have, the more money I could lose. Oh, don't want that happening. Why self-belief is a big one again. So, why should people pay me money? What have I got to give? Again, a load of crap. So that one needs to get gone. People with money are workaholics. I don't want to have to work hard. I want to be there for my children. If I want to earn money, it means that I've got to work hard and not be for them, and all these different things that can come up. So you can figure them out, the higher in the subconscious ones. And for me, I've been doing a lot of group work, and I've done a lot of Michelle's work before I've done these courses. And I uncovered some of them. I did one course which was called Be Your Own Energy Editor. So she teaches us some techniques, which I'm going to be then learning these techniques soon, so I can teach you guys, which is just amazing. And one of them was a massive sabotager that I was working with. And so Tim and I, when we were younger, we've had a very up and down relationship. It's the last 7 years, since we've had the children, things have been a lot better. But one of my subconscious beliefs that I came out through doing some of this work on the energy editing was that one of my beliefs that is, if I earn a lot of money, Tim would be able to leave me. And when I uncovered that, I was just like, it felt like someone sucker punched me in the stomach, because consciously I'm working really hard to make lots of money for my family and to make Tim happy and all the rest of it. But subconsciously my mind thinks that actually at the moment we're kind of like, it sounds awful, but we're trapped in this situation where we can't do everything we want to do. We can't go to the pub every weekend, and Tim couldn't just go off and do what he wants to do because of money, because we're kind of trapped by money in a negative way. But my subconscious thinks this is a good thing. My subconscious thinks that's okay. He can't go anywhere while we've got no money, so that's fine. But if you go and make more money, he'll be able to go what he wants to do, and he will leave me. And that's a load of crap, because that's not the case. And he's very, very happy, and we're very happy now. But because of what's happened in our relationship 10 years ago, this is that subconscious belief. So as long as I have still got that subconscious belief working against me every day when I'm going out there trying to make more money, as soon as I do, my subconscious flips out and goes, no, we don't want more money because Tim's going to leave. So you can see how that's just so as soon as I realized that, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting, and that would never have been something I would have come up on my own. Yeah, it can be really, there can be stuff there that's really sort of messed up. So sometimes these blocks, that they are so deep rooted in your subconscious that you're just not aware of them. Oh, my note's gone here. Okay, but you can get rid of these money blocks yourself. So that's the good news. You don't need to be walking around with them anymore. A really good way, so there's a lot of mindset stuff that you can do now, starting from today. Affirmations are a really good one to instill the positive beliefs, to override those negative beliefs. So if you've got a limiting belief, which is I can't manage money, and that's going around in your head, it's about every day saying to yourself, I can manage money, I can manage money, I can manage money. Stick it up on a mirror, so every morning you're telling yourself, I can manage money, I can manage money. And it's overriding those negative thought patterns. Because what happens when you have these negative thought patterns, they create these pathways, like neural pathways in your brain. So it's having to overwrite them with the positive ones. It's doing things to it's doing things to show yourself and prove yourself that you can manage money. So, for example, it could be, right, okay, so I need to make sure that I've got my accounts up to date. I'm making sure that I am managing my money. So you show yourself, I can manage money. See, I'm doing it. I can manage money. What else have we got here? So money is evil. Okay, so if that's something that you think, people with money are bad people. So people with money are good people. People with money are good people. Override it, do your affirmations. But again, show yourself examples of people that have got money and are doing great things with it. So billionaires who have created orphanages and all these types of things, or look around you at people who you aspire to, people who are successful in business, that are doing amazing and are doing great work. People are they're helping loads of people. Give yourself some proof that that belief that you believe is a load of rubbish. If it's people won't buy from me, or people don't want what I offer, and all those types of limiting beliefs, look at times where people have bought from you. Get your testimonial book out. Look at what people have said nice about you. Look at the times when people have bought from you, or look at other people doing something similar to you. People are buying what they're doing. So what's different between what they're doing and what you're doing? Give yourself some evidence and overwrite those negativities. So mindset work's massive, but unfortunately that's a bit of a slow one, and it can take time, and it depends on, if you've got these beliefs from way back when in your childhood, it's going to take some time, but it will over time. I've been working on my money mindset now for like the last 2 or 3 years, and have definitely seen improvements through doing mindset work. Gratitude is another one as well. So there's a lot of work around, if you're not grateful for what you've got right now, if you're not looking after the things that you've got right now, then it's going to be hard for you to attract more. So being grateful just for your life as it is. So every day you can do a gratitude diary where you can write down 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for. Or if you're having a bit of a crappy day, what I like to do is, I'm having a bit of a day, I just get a piece of paper and a pen and just sit there and try and write 100 things that I'm grateful for. And it's things like silly things that come up, like I'm grateful for my laptop, I'm grateful for the sun, I'm grateful for this water. But when you get to about 50, it lifts your mood and you start to feel so much more positive and grateful, and think, God, I should be so grateful, when you think of other people's situations. But everyone has those days where you just feel like crap and feel like the world's against you. Okay, so that's the good news. You can get rid of these blocks and it's all good. But I've learned, I keep telling people I've got a superpower. I'm now an energy witch, because it is that powerful and it is that cool. And it's just like, I don't even understand all the science behind it and how it all works, because it just does. It's ace. So basically, with energy work, what we do is we read the information in your body to identify the fears. So your subconscious mind will speak through your body. It wants this stuff gone. It wants you to be the best that you can be. So all these emotions and limiting beliefs that you are holding back can be identified. These deep ones that, like the whole, like for me, like the Tim will leave you if you make more money thing, which I was just like, where did that come from? But totally makes sense. Your body will be able to communicate those and get it out. So energy editing, we use a technique called kinesiology. And kinesiology uses gentle muscle monitoring techniques to access the subconscious mind and gains accurate information about your current issues and what is needed to help your body, mind, and spirit to restore its balance and to get rid of these negative thought patterns, these fears, these emotions that are not serving you, and your limiting beliefs. So the beauty of kinesiology as well is that it completely bypasses any stories that you've been telling yourself as well. So all the stories that you tell yourself on a daily basis are also a load of rubbish a lot of the time. So all this stuff of like, oh, no one's going to buy from me, and oh, I can't do it, and my story that I told myself last week that what the heck was I going there for, because I wouldn't be able to do it, and I was going to be, you know, all these amazing people going to be there, and who was I to do it? That was a story that I was telling myself that was a load of rubbish. And so and when you're trying to find out your own limiting beliefs and your own blocks, you'll be telling yourself this same story because you believe it, because you think it's true. And why wouldn't you? Because all of this stuff has happened to you to make you believe that over a long, long time. But these techniques will help to identify that and to bring your body back into balance. So once we've identified what your blocks are, I then use an energy edge that erases it from your energy system. So this involves thinking a phrase which creates an energy pattern. The energy pattern then highlights where the stress and the blocks are in the energy system, and then we use different hand positions depending on what it is to connect the system in a specific way, and this allows the blocks to release. So I wanted today to do a group correction, but I'm not allowed to yet, which makes me really sad. I can't do it until I've done my 30 hours one-to-one. So I'm on session 5 today. I'm going through them so fast just so I can do some group work, because I know for you guys it's going to be the best way for us to work together. But I still have some half price one-to-one slots, so if anybody is sat there now going, oh, I just need to do this now, then we can, and if you do that then you'll help me get to my 30 quicker, and then we can do some group work as well. So let's open up the chat and see if anybody has got some energy block, any money blocks that have come up for them, or that you already know that you'd like to share. If you stick your hand up and then I can unmute you, or you can pop in the chat as well if you want to. I can see Stacey there. I'm sure Stacey's got some she could share. I'll unmute you. Hello.
Hi. Hi. Well, as you know, I did some energy work with you recently, and it was quite interesting because some things I was aware of and some things I wasn't aware of. So it was really, really useful. So if anybody's sitting there thinking, oh, I wonder if this is for me, do it, because it's so worth it. I just have this thing about that I was afraid, first of all, of knowing my worth. So why would somebody part with their money for what I had to give, what I had to offer? Stupid. And the other thing as well for me was that I was really worried about the fact that I was aware that I wanted financial abundance, but I was really afraid that it would come from a source that would make me sad, which is just really ridiculous, rather than thinking, actually, I have the power to make this happen for me. I am in control. So yeah, that was a big thing for me.
That's it. And a lot of the time you don't even know that that's even there, and that's what's this self-sabotage that's happening all the time. and until you can uncover it, and then you go, oh crap, that's what's been happening all this time. Damn. So yeah, it's exciting, because there is no need. You don't have to be stuck in that cycle anymore once you get to understand what they are. So has anybody got any questions, or has anybody got any insights or anything they'd like to share? Just check the chat. Oh, hi, Becky's down there too. I didn't see you before. Are you okay? Super. Okay, well, I hope that's been helpful, and that you know more about money blocks now, and what you can do. Start today, like I say, go and do some. Just go and have a think to yourself. Or best way to do it actually is to lie flat, totally flat. Go and just lie flat for 10 minutes, set a timer, and have no distractions if you can. Obviously, Claire, I can see you've got some distractions, so that's fine if you don't do that now. But just go and just set the intention, right? Okay, I need to know what my money story is. Go and lie flat for 10 minutes, and you'll be surprised as you lie there and start off with, you'll probably start thinking, oh, I need some eggs from the shop and all the rest of it. But as you lie there and just let your mind settle, things will start to come to the surface. Make sure you've got a pen and a piece of paper next to you, so as soon as you get up, you can write it all down. Just then think, right, okay, how can I make these into a positive affirmation? How can I prove to myself that this is a load of rubbish as well, because it most probably is. And a lot of our beliefs, especially our limiting beliefs, are a load of rubbish. And my teacher, Michelle, she has a good test for this. It's called the, cover your ears, Henry, bollocks test. So basically what you have to ask yourself is it positive? Is it serving me? And if it's not, is it true? Sorry, is it true? Is it positive? And is it serving me? So if you can't say equivocally that it's true, so like people won't buy from me, well, that's not true, because if people have already bought from you, well, you don't know what's just about to happen. So that's not true. It's definitely not positive, and it's definitely not serving you. Then it's bollocks, simple as that. And you don't need those kind of thoughts in your life. So people will buy from me, people have bought from me. Those are the types of things that you can then start drilling back into your subconscious to override that negative belief, and just make a list of all the times that people have bought from you, and just have that there, and you can start to prove to yourself that you can do it, because you all can. So thank you, and I hope you find that useful, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.